Hello and welcome to GearZen. Before we get started today, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, Nobody. We've always been able to count on Nobody here at GearZen for our sponsorship dollars. We really appreciate the help from Nobody, and we know that we can count on Nobody going forward because of the high quality content we provide here. Thanks, Nobody. Now, let's get on with the video. Today we're going to be talking about the original Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. And specifically, we're going to talk about how to set that BMPCC, the OG, up for anamorphic recording. Now, I've been able to do that with a small portable rig here. We've got something that's affordable, easy to transport, and shoots raw video internally. But before we get into that, roll the intro. Roll the intro. Yo, intro? There is no intro. Yes, we have no intro here. So, yeah, you get what you pay for. As I was saying, we're going to discuss the anamorphic setup for this original Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, the camera that came out in 2012 or 2013. This is a really great way to get into anamorphic shooting, and I think I have what may be the ideal setup here. So right here I have the NPF, the Sony NPF. This is a knockoff from Amazon, Sony NPF battery. And we plug that in right here to the monitor. And you see the light comes on here, losing my lens cap. And we'll power that up. The nice thing about this is this FeelWorld monitor is actually feeding power into the camera. So I'll go ahead and power the camera on and take our lens cap off. So let's get into discussing all of the various parts that I've brought together here to make what I think is the ideal setup for someone wanting to get into anamorphic shooting on a budget. So let me grab my handy dandy cheat sheet over here. We're very professional here at GearZen. So in building this up, first off, we have the camera cage. That's basically supports all of the different parts that are connected to the camera. In this case, this is the original small rig cage. It's model 1991. They do not sell this model new anymore, so you can look around, you can find some new old stock sometimes, and you can find it on eBay. Or if you're buying a camera, many times they'll come with this cage. It's a very popular cage. Also, the cage does come with a top handle. In this build, I do not have a top handle on because I think that this side handle, in this case, serves a similar purpose in that I can carry it like this around all day. I can hold it like that, no problem whatsoever carrying this around. Also because it's not overly heavy. Next is the MetaBones Speed Booster. This is the model, this is the the MetaBones Adapter EF-BMPCC. The nice thing about the MetaBones is, as you likely know if you're watching this video, the Pocket Cinema camera has a 2.8 crop, but the MetaBones gives you an extra stop and I think a half or a little bit more of light, and also reduces your focal magnification by 0.58. So it essentially turns your pocket cinema camera into a Super 35 sensor. For the taking lens, which is the lens that actually performs the focus, this is the Canon EF mount, of course, 24 millimeter image stabilization IS USM lens. It's a great lens. It gives you image stabilization with anamorphic autofocus to the extent that this camera will do it. And the front element does not rotate or move in any way, which is really key when you're using an anamorphic adapter. For our anamorphic lens, we have the Blackmagic Anamorphic 50. I picked that up used, and you can find decent deals on eBay for those. I think it's one of the best deals out there for budget anamorphics adapters, and I've been very happy with the performance. Next, we have the 77 millimeter K&F variable ND out here on the end of the lens. This lets us expose to the right, and using our zebras, we can dial in our exact exposure. It's really, really important to have an ND filter with this camera because your base ISO is 800. You're going to be shooting at 800 a lot of the time, so you really need that variable ND. The base plate. This allows us, the base plate's down here. See if I can drop my camera. The base plate here allows us to attach our rails, which allows us to put on the follow focus unit and attach to a tripod. This one is the Camvate base plate. It's a special order. I think I got this on B&H. It's the C2441 base plate. One thing I really like about this base plate is it has a Manfrotto style adapter with a quick release, so you can quickly, if you want to, pull this camera off, leave the rails behind and the follow focus and the lens support, and it really, I'll show you at the end of the video, you can even make this a more compact, stealthy anamorphic rig. For the handle, we have the Rigland wooden handle from Amazon. It's a good budget option has the rosette mount, and then I have a rosette adapter by Small Rig with 1/4-inch bolts attaching it to the side of my Small Rig cage. So it gives you a nice secure hold, really lets you get in here and a nice grip on the camera for very stable shooting. For the monitor, this is the FeelWorld MA5 Master monitor. Also got this on Amazon. Takes Sony MPF batteries. It will do the anamorphic D-squeeze internally, which is really, really great. Lets you see precisely what you're shooting. Additionally, I'm running a power out of this monitor into my camera. This really massively extends the battery life of the one thing that the pocket cinema camera is known for is terrible battery life, but with the monitor power, even though it's a slightly lower voltage than the camera needs, it extends the battery life immensely, and I highly recommend this setup. Around the monitor, I have the Camvate monitor cage. This is a monitor cage. It's really made for it's made for the FeelWorld F5 monitor. But if you buy this, and if you're handy with the drill, you can adapt this to work just fine with the MA5 Master monitor. You just had to drill out the top here hole to allow you to connect it. And the reason I wanted this cage is twofold. One, to protect the monitor a little bit, and two, because I was using this pivot style monitor mount, and the monitors themselves are plasticky, they're a little flimsy, but having this metal cage really lets you move this monitor where you want it. And so yeah, so I wanted so yeah, it lets you move it where you want it, And without that, you feel like you're going to bend and break your monitor. So I really recommend getting something like this, a cage for your monitor. If it's not a metal housed, if it's not a metal housed monitor, a cage really helps out with, you know, you're not feeling like you're going to flex and bend and break your monitor. This is the to mount my monitor here. I have a small rig. It's the 2294 swivel and tilt monitor mount. This really is great. It lets you put your monitor anywhere you need it. You know, you can get the red style monitor where, you know, you have it down at an angle, you know, as you're filming. So you could really let you put your monitor wherever you need it. You can swivel it sideways, and you can tilt it up and down. So highly recommend this this monitor mount. It's again the small rig 2294. Out in the front here, I put on the small rig. They're 9-inch carbon fiber 15 millimeter rods. I went with carbon fiber for weight savings, and they're pretty strong, but anything you can do to reduce the weight on a compact camera like this is a big plus. Also have out here a small rig lens support. Because you're using anamorphic, you have somewhat of a longer lens. The small rig lens support just gives you a little bit of peace of mind out there, giving a little upward pressure on the anamorphic adapter. For a follow focus, it's not really necessary, but I did go with the Tilta Mini follow focus. It's a very reasonably priced follow focus unit, and so far I'm happy with it. You can find all kinds of reviews out there on this follow focus. Go look at those. I'm not going to get into that now. But one thing I can highly recommend is Tilta sells the custom wheels just for I think $4. You can get a wheel, or not a wheel, you can get the gear that goes onto your focus on your lens. You just measure it. They tell you how on the Tilta site. You measure that and slide this rubber cog over your focus, and then it gives you an interface to use your follow focus. And $4 is really the closest you're going to get to that. They're blowing everybody out of the water on price. Most are charging like $30, $35 for that kind of adapter to let you use a follow focus with a photography lens. So highly recommend that. Great job, Tilta. This camera is notorious for breaking HDMI ports, so I wanted to find a solution to that. What I found was this Italian company called LookCircle. They make something called the Lockport. What this does is it allows you to not, when you unplug your HDMI, it allows you to not mess with the one plugged into your camera. So what you have is a mini HDMI going into your camera. It comes up to a female full-size HDMI, and Lockport in their kit, they provide you a adapter that mounts onto the camera with a female HDMI port. So once you get that secured down, it's rock solid. When you're unplugging and plugging in your monitors, you're unplugging from the Lockport flex. So you're not messing with the camera HDMI port. So you have a much lower chance of breaking it. And I think this is a good solution to extend the life of your Pocket Cinema camera. I think these are $119 shipped from Italy. It's called the Lockport Flex Kit from LookCircle. For batteries, again, NPF batteries. I use generic batteries for the camera off of Amazon. These are generic batteries, and a generic charger for the Sony NPF style batteries. As you can probably see, the camera's been on the whole time we've been running the video. We're still at 71% on the Pocket Cinema camera, and it was, I haven't paid attention to the power level on this for a while. As long as I keep charging up my NPF batteries, and popping them on to the monitor, I don't really have to think about the battery in the camera too much. We're still at like 90 or 80% on the monitor battery, and that's been running this whole time. And actually that wasn't freshly charged, so really a great solution. One last thing before we go. I told you I would show you that you could pop this camera off and make it even more lightweight and portable. So we take off our follow focus. We move down our lens support, and then just come over here to the to that, and then here goes our rails, and now we have an even smaller package to run and gun with. You could even take this this Manfrotto plate off here and even have a smaller, real portable anamorphic setup. Really a great, way to go to get into anamorphic cheaply and have really spectacular picture quality. So as I was saying, if you want to see some footage from this camera, go ahead and hit subscribe, or just remember and come back later if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. So yeah, come back in a few weeks. I'll have some footage up, and also I'll run through the way that I convert my footage in DaVinci Resolve, and how I do the anamorphic D-squeeze, and maybe a little bit about how I apply LUTs or do a little bit of color correcting. I'm by no means an expert in color correcting, but I can get an acceptable result. But again, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. And oh yeah, I need to get my thumbnail. So this is a little homage to camera conspiracies. Thank you for the great videos, and this is an homage to you. Let's see here. Thanks for watching Gear Zen. Come back next time.